Hey guys, Kev here, and today is Benchmade Day on the Lefty EDC channel. So, um, I wanted to finally do a review on my Benchmade Bugout here, the Lefty version that I kind of customized, and I want to go through the Bugout itself, which I'm sure most of you or all of you know, and then I kind of just want to go over the mods that I did on this guy. And I wanted to start with the Bugout. I also have to do my first impressions on the mini Crooked River I got in. So I'll do that video next. I don't know what order they'll post in. But I wanted to do the Bugout because lately I've been getting a little bit of flack in the comments and on YouTube or Instagram, sorry, about only posting righty knives, righty only knives. And man, I wish that, these awesome designs that are coming out all the time, I wish they all had reversible clips, and I wish they all came in a lefty variation, but they just don't. And I used to be in the camp where if it didn't have that, a lefty only or a reversible clip, I would skip it and I wouldn't, buy one or check one out. And I regretted it so much because I missed out on so many cool designs over the last, the first part of the year and into the fall, really. And that's when I started. When I started the channel, a little bit before that, I started getting into trying these knives that I just always, overlooked or not overlooked. I just ignored because they didn't have the specific clip I needed. And now that I'm checking those righty knives out, as you've seen on the channel, there's a lot of them that have been out, but I just never got to check them out before or whatever. And it's been so much fun to actually have those in hand now, and I'm getting over that. I can carry two knives. I can carry a lefty knife in my front pocket and a righty knife in my back pocket. Or like the Wii Banter, I put the unboxing of that out this morning. That one rides in the fifth pocket, so it doesn't need to be left-handed. It's actually better that it's right-handed. So there's just a lot of knives that I want and I want to check out, and they're not all going to be left-handed. I know most of you don't care, but to the people that do, that's my reasoning. I used to really stick to my guns on that, and I just regret doing it at this point. But if that's you, then all the power to you. You do whatever feels right for you, and I'm doing the same thing. I get that it's a little ironic that the channel's called Lefty EDC and I'm showing righty only knives, but it's not really about that. It's about the fact that I'm left-handed, and I'm giving you my perspective on how that knife, righty, lefty, ambi, how that knife feels to a lefty and how it operates for a lefty. That'll never change. So I just wanted to throw that rant out there. Sorry for that. The Benchmade Bugout. So this knife was one of the first knives that I got in my collection. It's also one of the first more expensive knives I got in my collection. At this point, I wouldn't say it's really expensive. Oh, excuse me. I would say, it's kind of middle of the road there. It's not budget, but it's just kind of past that. This was the second knife I bought when I got into the hobby hardcore about 3 years ago. I bought the ZT-0450 CF. I bought that on Amazon. And then I went ahead and bought the Benchmade Bugout. This was the blue version, the original version. I think I also got this on Amazon. I may have got it from Blade HQ. And it was $114 when I bought this guy. And again, it was the one with the blue FRN handles, and it has the satin blade here. This is S30V. And there's your Benchmade logo. And that's it for markings on this guy. As with all Benchmades, it comes in a cool blue Benchmade box with a little pouch, microfiber pouch, which is cool. And I really like the knife. It's super lightweight. I took it on a few vacations, and it was really a great knife for that because it could just ride in any kind of pocket, gym short. Basically anything I wore, I could just drop this into. It's super fidgety with the axis lock. It just kind of drops shut, and it's fun to flick out. Has a light detent, so you're not, beating your thumbs up. You can spidey flick it if you're not in front of a camera. You can just have a lot of fun with this knife, and it's a great cutting tool. The blade has a very thin behind the edge, flat ground blade that goes all the way down here. Well, okay, there's a little swedge up here in this area, but the flat grind goes from here down, and it's very good. I've stropped this guy up. I've sharpened this guy on my Spyderco Sharp Maker a few times. This is probably the knife I've sharpened the most, and it still comes to a good edge. It still shaves hair once I'm done. I really like to sharpen S30V. I think Benchmade's S30V is one of the easiest steels to sharpen, and it still has an edge that lasts a long time. So that's really cool. And I just love this knife. You guys know it's the Bugout, drop point blade, sweet handle, just neutral kind of handle feel, super lightweight. I mean, just all around perfect size with this. I think it's 3.25 inch blade. And then the Bugout kind of created or brought in the mini Bugout clip, which obviously I've replaced here with an MXG gear clip, but that clip is fantastic. I just got this one for the color. So the Benchmade Bugout kind of revolutionized, I think, at least for me, coming into the hobby. It's when I really came into it and started watching YouTube reviews and kind of, I didn't get into Instagram at that point. This was like 3 years ago, I think. But yeah, it just revolutionized the game, I think, with how lightweight it was for the blade length you got, and so I guess it's the capability of this knife is what set it apart, because people always assume, before this knife came out, people assumed a knife with plastic handles and no steel frame would just break instantly, But the Bugout kind of proved that you could do that. You could do lightweight handles with minimal liners and still have a durable blade. Like, yeah, I'm not going to sit there and baton this all day, but people have done that, and this thing is held up. So I just love this knife. I love this design. I really need to start carrying it more again. It's kind of been on the back burner just because I've gotten so many knives this year, and I've had this one for a while. And I've also loaned this out a lot. So, but yeah, in 2021, I want to make an effort to carry my Bugout a little more. This knife is never leaving my collection. Absolutely love this thing. So let's get into the mods, right? That's what I really wanted to talk about, because it just was so much fun putting this knife together. And I tried kind of doing the same exact process with a Para 3 that I got in. And, it was fun. I got the hardware and the scales and the clip and all the stuff. But that knife just never kind of like stuck with me the way this one does. And I think it's mainly the compression lock. It just kind of, it's hard for a lefty to manipulate, and it would fall out of my hands a lot. And just this access lock from Benchmade with the thumb studs, it's just so easy to use and so fun. So yeah, so this started out as the blue handled satin blade, blue thumb stud, blue barrel spacer version with the lanyard hole and everything, right? So what I ended up doing was, the first thing I did was I reached out on Instagram to a guy under the IG tag of Death Grip Scales. And this guy does Benchmade custom scales for basically any Benchmade, I think he can do scales for. And he does micarta and carbon fiber. He does not do titanium, at least he didn't at the time. He told me he didn't have the machining for that yet, but he was working on it. So I decided to go with micarta. And he made these custom scales for me. I paid $95 for these custom scales. They were tapped for left hand only. So there's no holes over here for the righty clip. I just figured that keeps it nice and clean, which is a lot of times what you hear from righties about why they didn't put a reversible clip on their knife. It's because it's clean and it keeps the design flowing. Well, I decided to throw it back at them, you know. Not that it matters to anybody, but it made me feel good inside, you know. So I got the lefty side clip only. I got rid of the lanyard hole here because I'm not a lanyard guy. So that was 95 bucks. And then I got the G10 backspacer, this geared G10 backspacer from the same guy, Death Grip Scales, and that was 20 bucks. So I spent $115 putting the scales and the backspacer on this knife. Then I went ahead and called Benchmade, and I pretended that I had a Ranger green bug out, and I had dinged up my thumb studs, and I wanted a replacement set because this one came with the blue thumb studs, and that obviously would not match with these scales. So, and I knew that Benchmade would hook me up if I told them that. But if I called and said, I have a blue one, can I buy these colored studs, they would have said no, because they don't want people to make one-off, you know, custom bug outs, which is fair enough. And, you know, if Benchmade's watching this for some reason, I apologize that I deceived you. It just seemed to be the easiest way for me to do it. I didn't realize there was thumb studs out there I could buy secondary. So it just made sense for me, and the colors all match. So I got these thumb studs from the Ranger green bug out, which are like these brass colored ones, and I thought it matched really well with this OD green type micarta. So I bought those, and then I dropped off the thumb studs and the knife to Death Grip Scales. He actually lives in my area here, which was lucky. I didn't know that. It just kind of happened. And I was like, hey, you're 20 minutes away. I'll just drive over. And I dropped the knife and the studs off. And when he was done, he put it all together for me. So it made it a lot easier, because taking apart Benchmades and putting them back together, at least, you know, 6 or 7 months ago was, you know, it was tough for me. Now I could probably do it in my sleep. But yeah, so he put it together for me and I got it back. And then I decided to order custom hardware. So I got these titanium screws from Rock Scale Design, I believe. These are the silver titanium screws. So all the body screws are titanium now in this silver color. I couldn't get the pivot hardware and the axis hardware, so I left those black. And then because of that and the backspacer, I decided to order a cool deep carry clip from MXG Gear, and I got this black color because I thought it matched well with the other accents on here. So you have kind of a little bit of a three-tone going on, right? Because you have the micarta and thumb studs, and then you have the black, you know, in certain places, and then you have the satin blade and the satin liners. So just kind of an interesting build. I just had so much fun putting it together. And I mean, all in all, I spent, you know what, I spent $115 on the knife. I spent $115 on the scales and backspacers. So we're at $230. I spent, I think, 12 bucks on the hardware here. So we're at $241. And then I spent, you know, I think it was like 25 bucks for the clip. So it's at 266 we're at. So this knife is about 260 bucks all put together. Is this bug out worth 260 bucks? No. There's not a single person out there. I dare you to offer me $260 for this knife. It's not worth that. It's probably worth, if I sold this in the secondary, I might get, I don't know, $150 out of it, right? I see people posting modded bug outs and they want like $220. Like, I'm never going to charge that anyway. This was fun for me. This was a project. I knew I was losing money when I did it. But that's why it's a keeper. This isn't going anywhere, again, unless somebody offers me something ridiculous. But please don't, because $260 wouldn't even do it. I just love this thing so much. It just is. It's just a great knife, the Bug Out. I've ranted enough here, guys. I just kind of wanted to give you an overview of my lefty only modded Bug Out here. Shout out to Death Grip Scales. Check them out on Instagram. Shout out to Flytanium. Check them out on Instagram. Or was it Rock Scale Design? I can't remember. Check them out too, because they're awesome. MXG Gear, they're also local to me here, turns out. Awesome company. There's just so many good companies that sell aftermarket scales and hardware. I mean, you have Rips Garage Tech, Cerberus. There's just so many. It goes on, and they're all amazing. There's XXX Adrenaline, XXX out of Australia on eBay that sells titanium hardware for a lot of different knives. There's Aramis scales that you can get for your Spydercos. Sharp Dress Knives makes really cool scales. I mean, please, guys, leave more in the comments. People want to know this stuff. They want to get cool mods for their knives, but, it's hard to find that stuff unless you're on Instagram constantly or asking all these people. So maybe we can leave, a little list somewhere in the comments. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Tell me what cool knives you've modded up, what you've done to them. I'd love to hear that. Hit me up on Instagram at LeftyEDC. Send me pictures of your modded knives. I would love to check them out. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.